Have you ever had a dream inside of you so big that it wants to burst out of you, but you keep suppressing it and holding it back? If that's you and you recognize that, this show is just for you. So don't go anywhere. Stay tuned and stick around. Welcome to Unleash Your Audacious Confidence on Win-Win Women TV. This show is all about sharing the tips, tools, and techniques that will allow you to step boldly in the direction of your dreams, despite your feelings, fears, or past failures, to imagine what's possible for yourself and live the life you deserve. Well, hello, and welcome to this episode of Unleash Your Audacious Confidence here on Win-Win Women TV. I'm your host, Alicia Couri, and I'm excited to invite you to this episode and to check out winwinwomen.com, winwinwomentv.com, for all the amazing content that they have there in store for you. And don't forget to check us out on Roku, Amazon, if you have Amazon Fire TV, or Apple TV. You can find Win-Win Women Network on those platforms as well. And I invite you to go check out our YouTube channel, which is youtube.com/Alicia Couri. And if you've missed any of the episode, you can catch them over on our YouTube channel. And don't forget to like and subscribe to our YouTube channel if you find this content valuable. All right. Today's show, it's called Unmasking Your Secret Identity. Unmasking your secret identity for success. So we're going to do a deep dive into this. And this may become a series because there's so much to talk about when we're talking about secret identities. There's just, I don't even know if I'm going to get it all in the time that we have today. But I wanted to at least start the conversation, at least get the conversation started. So first of all, I wanted to ask a question because I want to understand if, and I know you can't answer me back. I know you're not live, but I want you to ponder this. I want you to think about it while I'm talking. I'm just trying to get my notes up while I'm talking to you, because I really want you to think about what a paradigm is. What is a paradigm? Because I'm going to share with you what a couple of definitions of that. But when we're talking secret identity, it's really rooted in your paradigm. It's rooted in your beliefs. And I often ask this question when I talk about secret identities and I talk about alter egos and all that. What's the alter ego of between Clarke Kent and Superman? Who is the alter ego between Clarke Kent and Superman? Which is the secret identity? Which is the alter ego? And I get all the different answers to that question. But as I go through this content, I want you to think about those two things. What's your secret identity? And how's it linked to your paradigm? So a paradigm, according to Bob Proctor, a paradigm is a multitude of habits fixed in our subconscious mind. It's a mental program that has exclusive control over all of our habitual behavior. And almost all of our behavior is habitual. Now, when you think about a paradigm it's not something that you built yourself. Remember, you said it's something fixed in your subconscious mind. It's not something you built yourself. It's something that was programmed into you at birth, even before birth. We can even look at it that way. Even before birth, it was programmed into you. You weren't responsible for building your paradigm. But as we go through this show, I want you to know that you are totally responsible for changing it. 100% responsible for changing it. If your paradigm is not getting you where you want to be, then you have to change that paradigm. It's up to you. No one else is going to come in and change it, but you have to recognize that you've been programmed with these beliefs. You have this programming inside of you. So let me start with, first of all, who are you? Who am I? Who are you? Who are you? Well, you are a spirit being. And the reason I say it that way is we're all energy. We're energetic. Now, I'm a Christian and I have Christian beliefs. So I believe that I am aligned with a God that created me. But even if you didn't even want to see it that way, we are energetic. We are energy. We're all energy. The entire universe is energy, and we all vibrate at a certain frequency. And that's how I am physically in being, because I am energy, a bundle of energy that's vibrating. So we're spirit. We have this energy signature. We have a soul, and we live in a body. So I'm a spirit, I have a soul, and I live in a body. Now the soul and the body are one, and it comprises our entire mind. So the conscious, the subconscious, all the different components of the brain and the mind and the body, they all act as one. And it's our intellect, it's our will, it's our imagination, it's our memory, our reasoning faculties, our emotional faculties, our physical faculties. So all of that comprises the mind, spirit, soul, body. I'm going to deal with the mind, which is your soul and your body. And like we said, a paradigm is, sorry, I went to sleep again. It's a multitude of habits that is fixed in our subconscious mind. Well, when we look at the subconscious mind, that's in every molecule of our being is our subconscious mind. Every molecule of our being inhabits the subconscious mind, because you don't have to think about breathing, about swallowing, about blinking, about your heart beating, about your blood flowing, about digesting your food. You don't have to think about those things. So it's not a reasoning faculty. It's not an intellectual faculty, but it is a physiological faculty of the mind, how your body operates through the subconscious. The subconscious makes sure your heart's beating. The subconscious, God designed us in a way that our subconscious mind is really responsible for probably 90%, 90 to 95% of the way we function in this world. It runs on autopilot, so we don't have to think about it to survive. If we had to continually think, breathe now, breathe now, breathe now, breathe now, breathe now, we will die in our sleep, right? So the subconscious mind is a supercomputer, and it is vitally important for the function of your entire being. So when you were born, even before you were born, but let's just start with when you were born. Let's say you're a product of your mother and your father. So those molecules you have from your mother, from your father, they came together, and that became a collective DNA of beliefs, of their own paradigms coming together to form you. And so you have that DNA coursing through your veins. But with that DNA comes, like I said, the imprint of their beliefs and their paradigms and what they believed and said and thought and felt and experienced. Some of that is all inside of you. And for generations, these beliefs continue to build. There's this joke, which is a story about the pot roast. And it just goes back to, and I'm only telling it because it goes back to paradigms and beliefs and how things are passed down from generation to generation. You don't even know where it came from, what the root was, or why you were doing it. And so there's this young woman, newly married, and she's getting ready to make a pot roast for dinner for her new family and her family. They're meeting together and they're coming together, and she's so excited. You know, she's gonna make her great grandmother's famous pot roast. And so she takes the pot roast and she cuts the two ends off and she puts it in the pot and she starts to cook it. And her new husband says, well, why are you cutting the two ends off the pot roast? Why are you doing that? She's like, I don't know. My mom always did it. My grandma always did it. My great grandma always did it. So I'm doing it the same way they did it. I mean, I don't know. Maybe it makes it taste better. So during the course of time, you know, everybody showed up and they started dinner and so she asks her mom, she's like, Mom, I was making the pot roast and I just want to know, why do we cut the ends off the pot roast? And she's like, I don't know. My mother did it, my grandmother did it, so I did it. And that's how I taught you to do it. So then she went to her grandmother and she's like, Grammy, why do we cut the ends off the pot roast? She's like, I don't know. My mom did it, so I did it, and I taught your mom to do it, and she taught you to do it. So she's like, okay, so let me go to great Grammy. So she goes to her great grandmother and she's like, why did you cut the ends off the pot roast? Did it make it taste better? Was it, you know, why did you do that? And she's like, oh, I didn't have a pot big enough for the pot roast. So I just chopped the ends off it to fit in the pot, and that's how I did it. So that became a belief. But until she questioned it, until she was questioned, and then she questioned it, she kept wasting meat. Right? They kept cutting the ends off the pot roast because they didn't understand why it was happening. They just did it to do it because it was a tradition. And that's how paradigms are built, believed, and passed down from generation to generation. Just these belief systems, these habits that we form, that we do it this specific particular way all the time. And we don't even know why we're doing it that way. And so when you were born, this is how your paradigm was built. So let's say you're an empty cup. See this cup? This is your head. You're an empty cup. And because you're open on top, everything just starts getting put into you. Everything is put into you. Whatever you see, whatever's in your environment just goes into the cup. It's just going into the cup. Nobody's, you can't question it. You don't know. You don't know any better. You're a little kid. You're a baby. And things just keep going into the cup. Into the cup it goes, right? Everything's in your subconscious, building in your subconscious, including your breathing and your, you know, your blood flowing and all the other things that is happening in your body. So all these things are going on and it fills up your subconscious with these beliefs. And then something happens, probably around the age 7, from research, 7, 8. This cup develops a lid. Doesn't just accept everything anymore. It starts questioning things, starts asking, starts reasoning, starts trying to figure things out, starts trying to connect the dots. And that's when we become more, less, subjective, where everything is just being inputted, and more resistant, because now we're wanting to know why. Why is that happening? Why do we do this? But even though we have now this reasoning capabilities, because that paradigm, that belief, that programming was so deeply ingrained from the minute you were conceived and birthed and all that time growing up, it's hard to deprogram that because you don't even know it's running back there. You don't even know it's happening. You really don't. And so you continue to do things, and sometimes you're questioned and sometimes you question it. But, you know, when you ask a parent, they say, because that's just how we do it, you keep going with that. Okay, they're the adult. They should know better. I don't know. And I'm getting to your secret identity because this is how your identity is being molded and shaped and formed without your conscious knowledge of it. So you're living in this world, you start going to school, still stuff is coming in and you're not able to like reject it. You just accept, accept, accept. And you're seeing things happening in school where if you follow everybody else, you don't get into trouble. If you're an outlier and you don't do what everybody else does, you get into trouble. Huh. We start following what everybody else is doing. We start following the crowd, following the masses, because that keeps us out of trouble. And that helps us progress. So then we start developing, like herd mentality, like there's this mass consciousness. We're learning the same things. We're developing in the same way. And if your uniqueness, because we're all unique, if your uniqueness starts peeking out a little bit, what happens? You're teased for it, or and you want it so desperately to get back into the herd. So that goes to our talk about generations, back to our reptilian brain in the brainstem here, where if we were cast out of the herd, we would die. Being cast out of the group meant death because you were left in the wild to fend for yourself. So that just primal memory, that primal instinct of ours is for survival. So we stick with the herd. Now that's your mind and your soul and your body, right? That's how that's operating. But what about your spirit? Remember I said earlier, you are a spirit. Well, your spirit is perfect. And your spirit is always for growth and expansion and increase. And your spirit is seeking fuller expression through the mind, through the brain, the subconscious mind, the conscious mind, and the body. It's seeking that fuller expression. So when you come to a place in your life and you're like, oh, I really want this. And sometimes it could happen when you're a young child. You really want to do something, or you really want something, or you have this burning desire inside of you to remember, Martin Luther King said, I have a dream. I have a dream. So you're sitting there and you're like, I have a dream. I know what I want to do. I want to change the world. Well, it takes a very, very bold and audacious sense of being to go against the herd, to go against that mass consciousness, to embrace your uniqueness, to step outside of that and actually decide to follow that desire. Less people do that than, like, I think it's like 3% of people actually do that than follow the crowd. And so if you start thinking, okay, I have something burning inside of me, I have something burning inside of me, but I just don't know how to do that. I don't know how to get from A to B. I mean, how do I break out of this? What do I do? And every time you try, and I'm speaking from experience, when you try, you get pulled back in. And I'm not talking about crabs in a barrel. I'm not talking about people who don't want to see you succeed. That's not what I'm talking about here. I am talking about your own paradigm. I am talking about that reptilian brain of yours that when you start stepping out, pulls you back in because it's dangerous. You see it as danger. You see it as risk. You see it as, oh my God, if I do that, I'm going to die. Of course, you're not articulating it exactly like that. You're not saying to yourself, if I step out there and try to do this, I'm going to die. No, you're saying to yourself everything else. Oh, but you know what? I got to take care of the family. I can't do that. I have a job. Oh, no, 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 that's not possible. I can't step out and start my own business because what will everybody think? I just finished school, I got a good job, and now I just want to go start my own business. Oh my God, my family will just hate me. My parents will hate me for paying all this money for college, and then I just drop out. Like all these societal pressures, which is built around the paradigm to keep us right where we are. So people will say things like, but you got such a good job. Why do you want to do that? Or why can't you just be satisfied with what you have? Or I don't know why you keep, like bothering yourself with all this stuff. You got a good life. Why not just enjoy it? Because they don't understand that burning desire on the inside of you to do something different. So what do? You continue to wear the mask of the secret identity. Your secret identity is that ordinary self, that person, that persona that you have that shows up the same way every single time, every single day, doing the same stuff, stuck in a rut, or being responsible, being the person that everyone can count on. But there's something else inside of you that you're not allowing to birth. There's something deeper inside of you that's just burning to come out that you're not allowing it. Well, I'm giving you permission today. Today, I'm giving you permission to start seeking that thing that's seeking you. Start seeking that thing that's seeking you. Start peeling off that mask layer by layer to reveal the superhero inside of you. It's not easy. Like I said, that reptilian brain in the back there, that brain stem, keeps pulling you back to safety. So you think, all right, I need to change my habits. All right, that's what's holding me back. I need discipline and I need to change my habits. So you start, all right, I am going to change my habits, because if my paradigm is just a collection of habits that, then if I change my habits, then I break the paradigm. Easy, right? Simple. I'll just do that. Yeah, sure. So you start on this road and you start breaking the habit. Well, first you got to recognize what the habit is. You got to recognize what that habit is that's keeping you stuck. And you're doing your self-awareness. So in order to break the habit, you have to go through levels of self-awareness. So you start doing things and then you stop yourself. It's like, oh, why did I just do that? Huh. One of those habits, let's say you decide, I'm going to start my own business. I'm going to start my own business. All right, what do I need to do? Well, first I got to figure out what business I'm going to start. I know I'm going to start a coaching business. I'm going to go out and coach people. So I need to get training, licensed, right? So you go and you get the training, you get what you need. All right, now what? Oh, I need a website. Then you go, you get your website. Oh, I need social media. So then you go and you do all your social media stuff. All right. What else? I need for my for this business. Oh, wait a second. I need customers. All right. How do I get customers? Oh, this person over here said optimize my website. All right. So I'm going to pay to optimize my website. This person over here says I need SEO. I need some more social media marketing. Oh, I need a book. Oh, I need to go speak somewhere. That's right. I need to go speaking. And not once have you picked up the phone and called anybody to be a customer of yours. Not once have you asked somebody to be a customer of yours. Because your paradigm is keeping you busy, keeping you away from doing the thing that you fear the most. And then you reach a point where you're saying, you know what? I need to go back and get a job because this business thing is not working. So you quit that and you go back and you get a job. And you say, well, I tried. I did all the things. I got a website. I wrote a book, you know, I even got some media coverage, and I did all these things. But did you understand how to actually get a customer, how to get a client for yourself? Because your paradigm, and I'm not saying this to dog anybody or say, I was there, and there are days that I am still there. I'm still working on my paradigm, right? I'm still working on breaking those habits. So I'm not telling you anything I'm not telling myself right now. In fact, I'm telling you that all this stuff, and I'm thinking to myself, oh my gosh, that sounds just like me. It's about continually. It's only through constant space repetition. It's only through repetition. How did you learn your times table? Repetition. How did you learn to tie your shoelaces? Repetition. How did you learn to hold a fork and put it to your mouth? Repetition. So it's only through repetition and holding it in your mind that can you overcome some of your beliefs that is buried so deep in your paradigm that then you can break through that and actually start achieving the thing you want. And that's how you start unmasking your secret identity, is you start recognizing, what is my ordinary self? What is my ordinary self doing right now that's getting me to that goal that's burning, that's that burning desire inside of me? Is my ordinary self doing anything, or is it staying safe? What can I do to actually push myself outside of my comfort zone, outside of my ordinary being, towards the thing that I desire, towards that dream that I have, towards what my spirit needs me to accomplish? I'm going back to Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. when he said, I have a dream, that speech, that infamous speech. You know, he was willing and did risk his life for his dream. There were people who were warning him not to go, not to do this, not to do that, not to expose himself. But that dream was burning so deep inside of him that it was compelling him, that he could no longer operate in his secret identity. He had to. So what is that dream that is compelling you, that is pulling you so, it's pulling on you so badly that you have to wake up. It's compelling you to wake up every day and move towards that dream. What is that for you? You see, when you start discovering what that is, that's when you start peeling back the layers and unmasking your secret identity. Because you know that in order to get there, a place that you don't even know how to get there, things are going to have to change. You're going to have to change. You're going to have to grow. You're going to have to develop. You're going to have to do things that are uncomfortable. And you're going to have to change your habits. So don't sit there and just say, oh, if only. Don't play the blame game either and say, well, it's because this person didn't do that, or this person didn't do this, or I didn't have the money, or nobody would help me. And there are so many excuses that we can make, but just consider those excuses bring you right back to your secret identity, because you're safe in your secret identity. That's why Superman developed Clarke Kent, to be safe in his secret identity, so people wouldn't know who he was and they wouldn't need things from him. So I'm gonna do another show about this and continue to talk about unmasking your secret identity. And maybe we'll start talking a little bit about the alter ego, because that's the next step, is developing that alter ego, when you really start pulling back the layers of your secret identity to reveal the powerful you that you are. So until next time, I have to shut it down at some point. So until next time. I am encouraging you. I mean, really encouraging you to be bold, to be brave, and every day do one thing to peel back that secret identity, peel off the mask so you can step out with audacious confidence. So until another episode, this is Alicia Couri saying goodbye for now on this episode of Unleash Your Audacious Confidence here on Win Win Women TV. Mwah.